Well, good afternoon. This is Algebra 2. Homework 9.4b is due on Monday. This is it's an online submission. So if you do it on paper, just take a picture of it and then submit it as a PDF. The new lesson for today, and this is 39 from the homework that's due tomorrow. Those of you here in class today, what you can do is copy problem 39 onto the blank side of the sheet of paper that you have. And problem 39 is 8x squared y over x plus 1 over another fraction. It's a fraction, two fractions within a fraction. It's a fraction of two fractions, which is a little annoying when you first look at it because it seems kind of stressful. But then, this is really the only new thing for today. What we're going to do is just take the top fraction divided by the fraction on the bottom, which is 6y squared over x plus 1. And then it looks like one of those problems in the homework due today. So really, that's all you have to do to make the problem familiar. Just take the top fraction divided by the bottom fraction. They are asking us for restrictions, and this is a great time to look at restrictions. I would recommend that you not let x plus 1 equal 0, because that would cause division by 0. This x plus 1 also cannot equal 0. It happens to be the same one, so I'll make them both yellow. Over here in green, will it be okay for 6xy squared to be 0? Is it okay if there's a 0 in this location? No is the correct answer, because if we had a 0 here, then this fraction would be 0, and then we'd be dividing by 0. We don't want that. So there's really two things you have to do before we actually try to simplify this problem. Let's look at the restrictions. First of all, x plus 1 cannot equal 0. That's from the yellow piece. Therefore, x cannot equal -1 is the first restriction. The green restriction can be expressed as 6xy squared cannot equal 0. And to get the color coding to line up here, I'm going to highlight this in green. Oops. Let's try that again. We're going to highlight just this piece in green and solve for, well, what should we solve for? If you divide both sides by 6, you just get xy squared cannot equal 0. And what does that mean? Well, the zero product property would say that x cannot equal 0 and y cannot equal 0. So there's really three restrictions. The first restriction is that x cannot equal -1. X cannot equal 0, y cannot equal 0. Let's just pause here. We don't want to rush past this. Does anyone have any questions as to where the three restrictions came from? All right, now let's go back and actually finish the problem. Would you agree that the problem now looks like one of those in the homework that was due today?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just going to take that approach. Fortunately, the new part is done. Now it's just practice. I'm just going to rewrite the first fraction. If I change the operation from division to multiplication, how should I rewrite the second fraction? Flip it is the answer coming from the room. Thank you. I agree. Let's flip it, and then if you want, you can just let the cancellation process begin. In orange, even though I haven't multiplied.
Well, I thought we had yellow in the cancellation.
We did have yellow cancellation action going on yesterday, so this is a little bit different.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing me. Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry. And then next, I guess it's probably not going to be surprising to you that an intermediate form of the answer is the 8x squared y over 6xy squared. Is there a volunteer who'd be willing to reduce the fraction 8/6 for me? To what does it reduce? Do we have any volunteers to reduce 8/6? Well, yeah, check, go ahead. 8 seconds. Go to reduce that. Yes, 4/3 is the correct reduced fraction. Now, hopefully, you'd be okay with this use of the divide subtract rule. We're talking 4x to the 2 minus 1 times y to the 1 minus 2 all over 3. Notice that since I'm dividing exponential expressions with the same base, I subtract 2 minus invisible 1 minus 2. I'm almost there. When we simplify this, I can write it as 4/3 x squared y to the negative 1, but we don't like those, and it shouldn't be x squared, it should be x to the first. So we generally don't like the negative exponents, so final answer that I would recommend would be 4x over 3y. That's the answer. The restrictions should be listed right next to it. X cannot equal negative 1, x cannot equal 0, and y does not equal 0. We have the simplified form and the restrictions, so it's really a lot like the homework that you did for today. It's just that first move that's different. Thanks for coming today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good night.